Hey everyone, my name is LegitKorea. Ahri is getting a mini rework for 2022, and I've been the rank 1 Ahri for quite some time now. Recently, I just hit rank 1 and the first to hit challenger in 2022. This guide is going to be a good starting guide for you if you're looking to put Ahri into your champion pool or if you're deciding to one-trick Ahri for the new season. I'll be giving you all the information you'll need to climb for the rest of the season. Now, before we start, I hope you guys do enjoy the new mic quality. We did get a new mic. And if you enjoy my content, don't forget to leave a like. Thank you so much for all the recent support on the YouTube channel. We just hit 25,000 subscribers on YouTube as well. So thank you again, everyone, for the support. This will be the 25,000 YouTube special. And as well, if you didn't know, I stream every single day on Twitch. I am doing a challenge where I stream every single day of 2022. Currently, we just finished 1 month, and if you guys want to know where I stream at, feel free to check down below in the comments. I will be pinning the comment. It will be twitch.tv/LegitKorea. This will be an Ahri guide for people who already kind of understand what her kit is, but want to expand upon knowing how to play her a little bit better. This isn't going to be going over her basic abilities or anything like that, but if you'd like to know, there are a lot of resources online such as wikis or YouTube videos that will explain every single Ahri ability. So the very first thing that everyone likes to talk about with Ahri is her champion identity. Is she a mage? Is she an assassin? Jack of all trades? A lot of people don't know what she's actually supposed to do. Currently with the update, Riot wants her to have more of a clear role as a utility and mobility mage, jumping in and out of fights, getting resets and picks, and ultimately dealing a ton of AoE damage within a fight. I personally find that she does exceptionally well, picking off high priority targets over walls where people don't expect her to be, utilizing Fog of War as one of her biggest assets. During my rank 1 climb in 2022, even against top players such as Doublelift and Hansama, I was able to impact the games heavily by picking off unsuspecting players. Let's jump right into runes. For a standard rune page, Electrocute will be your go-to, followed by Taste of Blood, Eyeball Collection, and your choice of either Ingenious, Relentless, or Ultimate Hunter. Secondary runes can be a mix of Mana Flow Band if you think you can land abilities against a shorter range champion. For example, if you're playing against a Lux or a Xerath, generally you won't be able to get in a closer proximity to be able to trade reliably. Thus, Mana Flow Band won't be as effective for you to run because you wouldn't be utilizing the rune as frequently. Next, I would recommend taking either Absolute Focus plus Gathering Storm or Mana Flow plus Gathering Storm. You can also run Inspiration Secondary and take Biscuits and Time Warp Tonic if you're starting Corrupting Potion, or take Cosmic Insight if you'd like to have your summoner spells up a little bit quicker. If you're playing against a melee matchup, consider taking Summon AHRI in the sorcery tree. This allows you to trade with autos and Ws as Ahri without fully committing your full combo. This is an extremely deadly combo early game, as the enemies will have to choose either to lose their HP while CSing or completely lose farm because of your strong zoning potential. With the new update to Ahri W being 25 mana at all ranks and having increased flat damage, you can now bully melee champions much harder with the new update. Take Mana Flow and Absolute Focus and Scorch. Secondary, you can run Biscuit and Time Warp Tonic in the Inspiration tree. Now, the build. Every person wants to know what is the best Ahri build, and with the new addition to the rework, this is the best overall if you don't want to think about build paths. In general, you should always be building based on the enemy team composition, so it's always situational. However, this build will be generally the most optimal build if you don't want to think about any of that. This would be a build I highly recommend to newer players that are just starting off playing Ahri as well. First, you'd want to start off with Doran's Ring or a Corrupting Potion. Corrupting Potion is generally a safer option when playing as Ahri. Then, start by building into your Lost Chapter. Finish it off into a Liandry's as your first mythic item. Feel free to build tier 1 or tier 2 boots anytime before finishing your mythic. Lucidity boots will be a strong option since it's cheap and provides lower cooldowns for your abilities, while sorcery boots will give you a stronger mid-game power spike for dealing some heavy magic damage for your team. Then your second item will be Cosmic Drive. The reason for these items is because of the new synergy between the two items and the new Ahri update. Ahri's passive and ultimate now rely on getting a takedown within 3 seconds of damaging a target. If you take the Liandry burn, you'll actually get 4 more seconds of burn damage onto a target, thus giving you a total of 7 seconds of time to be able to activate your passive and ultimate reset. This will be extremely useful during your mid to late game team fights. Also, because you are in combat for a longer period of time with the burn, this causes Cosmic Drive to stay active, granting you 40 AP and 15% movement speed decaying until you're out of combat. This is a deadly combo with ultimate and passive resets on Ahri. This will keep you relevant, healthy, and in a great position to carry your team fights all the time. After those 2 items, feel free to build based on the enemy team composition. For the other mythics, any other mana mythic is viable on Ahri. Everfrost will be a nice addition to your kit, as it will guarantee that you land your charms more frequently. Ludens will be a good purchase when you're playing versus squishy champions and you want to add a little bit of burst and movement speed to your playstyle. Crown of the Shattered Queen is exceptional at deflecting assassin champions, so feel free to build this against champions like Talon, Qiyana, or Fizz. Let's talk about skill order. Overall, it was pretty universal to max Q, then max W or E, depending on what you prefer. But now with the new changes, there could be a new skill order that may be viable. At the moment, this is just a theory with minimal testing from my end, but I'll explain to you my new LegitKorea Ahri build and the reason behind each thing. The order will be as follows. Level 1, you'll take Q or W. Level 2, you'll take the other skill that you didn't take. So if you took Q level 1, you'll take W level 2. And if you took W level 1, you'll take Q level 2. Level 3 will either be Charm if you want to play a little bit safer for disengage against enemy junglers, or if you want to play for follow-up for your own jungler. Q if you want a little bit more wave clear. Level 4, you'll take either Q or E that you didn't take the previous level. Level 5 onward to level 9, you will max your W. Then from there, you'll max your Q, and then max your E. Now with the addition to having 20% AP damage added to Ahri's Q, maxing the ability is good for flat damage, but the scaling doesn't change with the recent changes. Her mana cost on Q is now 100 mana at max rank. And now that W is buffed with lower mana cost, 25 at all ranks, and 20 more flat damage, it is a viable option to only put 2 points into Q and max W. Remember, you will be building Liandry as your first item, so once you can get it around mid-game, you'll be one-shotting the back wave with the burn when you clear with Q, and before that point, your W is a minion execute, therefore getting the minions low enough with Q, then pressing W, your Foxfire will automatically target the minions that are ready to be executed. Maxing W will also be super beneficial to getting to lane faster, and also trading way more effectively against melee champions. Ahri can be confusing on how to play during the laning phase. We'll go over briefly on how you should be relatively playing at all points in a match. Early game will be strong for Ahri against melee champions, and moderately strong against ranged champions. She'll struggle against champions that outrange her such as Victor or Lux, but due to those champions being a lot more immobile, you can make up for the early game with picks once you hit level 6. Level 1 you can choose to run W if you're against a melee matchup, and Q if you're outranged against a ranged champion. You want to do your best to scale up to level 6 without dying. If you can achieve this, you're well on your way to carrying the game from here. Ahri is also pretty good at poking with W and Qs early game, so feel free to trade against opponents when they auto for CS. Try not to spam your mana heavily to only trade, and assess if you need to save your mana to push and recall. Once you hit level 6 and are ready to roam, this will be one of your strongest points in the game for you. You'll want to play around your jungler and see their potential pathing / ganks, and try to make plays around your team. With their new passive being a pseudo triumph and ultimate being reset on takedowns, you can opt to be much more aggressive with your plays now. Try to identify who's the strongest player in the game and try to play around them, whether that be your teammates ADC or the enemy jungler. Look to either peel or pick the champions consciously. For late game, identifying the biggest threat in this situation is the best thing you can do at this point of the game. Ahri's scaling is actually pretty good towards the late game, and if you're able to land charm onto high priority targets, you will single-handedly carry the team fights. Try to flank in areas where the enemies will least expect it. Using Fog of War at this point in the game will be your biggest advantage as a champion that can dash over walls. Ahri has a ton of mobility to make it back to her team, so if you have time to push waves and rotate back for an objective, you'll also be able to heal and W back for a lot of movement speed back to your team. I've partnered with also very successful Ahri mains all across the world, and we managed to get to talk to two people, Lemur and Kiyose. Lemur is a challenger Ahri main on NA. He has been rank 1 for quite some time as well. Kiyose, he is a professional League of Legends player in the Oceania region. He's hit rank 1 in his region, just on the leaderboards, and is also an Ahri main. So here are some things that they would like you to know. Lemur says that with the new rework, her R cooldown starts after the first cast instead of all casts are over. So you no longer need to spam all your ulti charges to get the ultimate cooldown started. Basically, after your first cast of your ultimate will now start the timer. So it's a nice quality of life change from the Riot dev team for them to add this to the new Ahri. Kiyose would like to say that the principle of the old Ahri are exactly as the same as the new one. You want to hold your dashes in charm, bait out enemy movement until you actually get super close to them, and that way it's impossible for you to miss your charm. Along with this, you save more charges on your ult, and on top of the fact that now resets, you are actually saving and gaining more. So essentially, this also does work for any sort of skill shot, but with Ahri specifically, you can get closer to your enemies with a bunch of mobility and guarantee that your charm will land. Try to wait for enemies to burn a lot of their resources or a lot of their dashes, escapes, flash even, and then when you get close enough, feel free to use your charm at that point. And now, one tip from me. Ahri is not a super mechanical champion. She's very methodical, and the way you want to use your abilities should be a little bit slower paced, right? You want to think about how you want to use your abilities effectively while maintaining good positioning. She's not really like an Aurelia or a Yassuo, so the best way to play her is to proactively and methodically think about your gameplay and have a little bit of foresight into what the enemy is going to do. Taking time and being a little bit slower with your gameplay will help you land a lot more charms, your skill shots in general. So there you have it. Play a lot slower. There you go. And that's it for the guide. This is gonna be my very first guide that I make for Ahri. There will be more elaborated advanced guides, but just starting for people that are looking to get into Ahri, that kind of just understand how she works as a champion already. This is for you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed the guide. Like I said, if you guys did like the video, be sure to press the like down below on the YouTube video. It really does help out with the channel, and thank you again for all the support recently. If you guys have any ideas for any potential future guides, feel free to leave your suggestion down in the comments. I will be reading each and every single one. And thank you again so much for watching, everyone. I'll see you guys next time.